Hi, yes, and hello. I know this is going to be a recorded session, but my computer's still on the fritz. Hopefully I can get that fixed soon, but until then, here we are. When last we left our adventurers, you had just gotten, if I'm correct, you had just gotten back to the,
To the manor.
yeah. Still bustling and whatnot as usual. When you get to the manor, which entrance do you go through? The one over by the bar?
Generally where I go first.
What about the other two of you? That a expected entrance?
Whichever one's closest to the library. I'm not going to go in the front entrance. I'm just like...
The library has its own entrance.
Yeah, I figured.
And Wells? Are we thinking the tavern entrance, the entrance that would lead you closer to like where the guild offices are, the library entrance, or the one that heads towards the kind of hunter's lodge that's already in the manor?
Guild offices.
Okay. So you're each heading into essentially your own work areas. We'll go from easiest entry points to more complicated. Wells, when you get in, there is a handful of papers that need to be signed. That takes you like 10 minutes even reading over stuff thoroughly. It's just making sure that everything is in place for, like, can we move this this item to here? Can we are we allowed to actually move these items, or do we need to hold on to stuff? Legislation paperwork bullshit. There is one that catches your eye of a request from a trading group that you had seen before, but you're having a hard time putting your finger on where you've seen it before, asking if they can send a update delegation in like a month or so. It's from the trading guild.
Okay.
Next important range, Sorka. As you are going through stuff of heading into the library, you are told that there are some new books that have populated into the library and that they are being cataloged.
Okay, doke. I will have a look and see what they are without disrupting like any of the cataloging, like just like, hey, can you see what the titles are?
Most of them are look to be just simple journals. There is one that does catch your eye on uniqueness because it is a journal written in Draconic, which is not a common thing. And within the stack that particular journal has, there are scrolls and leaflets. Most of them are of non-magical purpose on agriculture and farming and viability of land. And as you're looking it over, you're noticing that some of these bits of information pertain to parts of where this barony is. That there is paperwork on this is how to best grow crops in this area. This is the way that you can use the least amount of space to have animals in this part of the territory. These are ways to make sure that there is enough water for all of the crops and harvestings.
Okay. I will make sure that I let the council know about this so that they know that we have this available to us.
All right. Dionysus. As you walk into the tavern, you notice a handful of things. One is your ward, like the ward of the barons, has started hanging pictures on the outside door of the private room that you usually use for meetings.
What kind of pictures?
Portraits, mostly. A couple landscapes. You can actually see, like, you can kind of guess when each one was made because they are slowly getting better.
Okay.
The next thing that you probably notice is the fact that there are a good number of people at one of the large gathering tables. A handful of humans, elves, there's a dwarf. There's also a fairly tall dragonborn with very dark scales that has a pseudo dragon sitting on her shoulder.
All right. I recognize any of them, or do they look new?
You recognize one of them. You actually recognize the dwarf. You're pretty sure that he's one of the people that has been a fifth party contact for old smuggling runs. This is one of the ones where you would have definitely like been in heavy disguise and shit like that when you met him, but so you know him. The odds of him knowing you are extremely low.
Okay.
And they are all wearing the filigree of the Black Rose. Except for the taller dragonborn woman. There is another dragonborn sitting at the table. But the taller woman, she doesn't have any filigree, but she is wearing a like flower crown where the main headpiece in the front is a black rose.
Interesting. Are any of them paying any particular attention to me?
Not when you first walk in.
Okay. I pop a detect magic, and I specifically am looking for seeing if any of their bags are enchanted, seeing if this appears to be another smuggling run. I'm looking and paying close attention, seeing if I see the signs of smuggling or if this appears to be a formal delegation.
This looks to be a formal delegation. One of the members has a satchel across their body that is pinging magic. You've seen a bag of holding or two in your time, at very least, like one or two. This is not a bag of holding across this person's shoulder.
It's one of the other bags I want.
It looks to be a diplomat's bag, yes.
Yeah. Another thing I've seen a time or two, but have never gotten my hands on.
Right. Usually because of the kind of people that they are near, it's kind of hard to swipe one.
Mm-hmm.
The woman herself is... she has a bit of magical glow on her weapon. Or at least you can assume it is her weapon, seeing as it is mostly just a long walking stick.
Anything else of particular note on the group, or?
You notice that the other Dragonborn is wearing a adventurer's coat.
Okay. Interesting group.
Also in the very near area, on the main central load-bearing pillar, I believe I mentioned it, like near the bottom, you notice that there's a like little rectangle that glows with illusion and divination magic.
I don't think you've told me that before.
No, not you, but I did tell another person about this.
Huh.
Yeah. Which would you like to look at? Which would you like to get closer to first?
The group.
Okay.
I just go sit with them.
As you get close and like put a hand on one of the seats, one of the humans in very dark armor stands up and places his hand on his left hand at the scabbard point of his sword, and he is moving his right hand to grip the pommel.
Considering that I believe you're the official delegation, I think it would be unwise to attack one of the people you're here to see.
He stops, like literally halfway standing, hand like inches from the pommel of his sword, as he looks over the table, and the Dragonborn woman stands up, her chair being pushed back out of her way. It is a pleasure to finally meet you face to face.
Where are my manners? I'm Dionysus, and you are?
Visara.
Visara. Gotcha. You made it here a little faster than I was expecting.
The winds were favorable.
How long have you been here? Are you enjoying the hospitality?
We've been here just shy of a day. So far, the hospitality is good, though we have yet to acquire rooms. We were hoping to meet with members of the Barony beforehand.
Well, the others are a little tied up at the moment, but I find comfort here. This is my little domain at the manor. Connections, information, and relaxation, all tied up into one.
It is quite a lovely place that you have set.
I quickly catch the bartender's attention and order a round for everyone.
The bartender nods and starts getting the round. As you're getting ready to sit down, she looks to the same person that was like getting ready to draw their sword, and in a hushed but stern voice, you hear her say, "Do not be rude to our host. Get his seat for him."
No. I don't stand on any grandstanding. If it's unconventional, I don't care. But this is an unusual position for me, making the best, but I'm not going to try and put myself above others unless necessary. Although I am impressed that he was so quick to challenge. Maybe a light spar later.
Sorry, I accidentally I mixed up her name with one of the right hands on a ship that's been in recently. Her name is Lavala.
Yeah,
LA.
I knew who you were talking about. Lavala, the over the table person that I fucked with in Alias, and I really don't want them to discover that alias. Although, with the other person there, can I deduce that maybe her finding out about some of that shit wasn't so accidental?
Somewhat is what you can assume.
Yeah. Okay. It's the risks I run being a smuggler. So, Lavala, your reputation precedes you. What are you doing so far away from home? Why are you the one down here?
Well, my Baroness would prefer to not have to leave the borders unless absolutely necessary. But it is important to make a proper, strong foot forward for communication and the connection. I, of course, did bring others with me. This is just the main front of my grouping. There are others that are camped in the town to the northwest
The northwest town is one of the smaller cities that we really haven't interacted with much yet, right?
Correct.
Unfortunately, we haven't made our presence too much out there, further to our south. The main port. 1 second. As I'm sure you're aware, we're fairly new in our positions.
One of the reasons that we're here.
Indeed. But I believe you'd be interested to truly see where our ambitions lay.
Yes.
And needing to reach out to the more outlying towns, but we need a strong, firm foothold where our main points of trade will be. And the biggest center of population.
And we would like to be of assistance within that. Not only with providing additional resources of our own, but in some research that has been gathered over several seasons. As this was not a properly held territory beforehand, the idea of expanding our efforts here was within our original site, but things have changed and we feel it would be improper to keep that to ourselves at this point.
Forgive me, but you've never been, your barony hasn't been notable for their openness to secrets. Thanks.
You can have another just by you want.
Not that I don't appreciate it, but I think that's political speak for you were looking at snapping up this territory, considering it's so close to your borders, and we put a wrench in that plan.
As such, going against, if we opened up a aggressive front, we understand that that would be displeasurable for many.
Indeed.
So it is much more tactful and how would I say?
You're testing the waters, especially with the upcoming turmoil between the more established baronies.
Something that we are not looking forward to, but we understand it is a unfortunate expectation. Many are wanting to expand their borders into eliminating others.
Yes, although those lines only move slightly each time. Don't get me wrong, we are in a vulnerable position and we understand that, and we are looking for friends. Even if it's friends of opportunity, as this seems to be. We, at the bare minimum, without the others here, I think I can say that we would prefer to remain mostly neutral in these tensions, as we don't have much skin in the game quite yet.
Understandable.
But we will vigorously defend what we've come into, if needs arise.
And having those that would be seen as friends is a good stance.
We don't need a knife hanging over us at our borders, and we don't want to cause trouble. I think the others will need to be here for a more thorough negotiation, but we are interested in what you can offer, and we are just tapping into what these lands themselves can offer. With a little guiding direction this last several months, the area has boomed much faster than anyone could have anticipated.
Oh yes, I've heard much of the town to the south.
This area was neglected and mismanaged. With trusting those more knowledgeable than ourselves and giving them the authority, we are seeing just the beginnings of the prosperity this land will offer, and we think we can make good allies in the long term to those that don't seek to take advantage of us.
With that in mind, before main negotiations, I do have a small proposition that I would like to offer as a opening of doors. First, the information that we have on how to work the lands that we were originally looking at procuring before the rights had been declared. She raises her hand and snaps her fingers, and the person with the diplomat's pouch stands up and pulls it off of his shoulder and sets it on the table as close to you as she can. In there is all of the information that we have gathered, as well as the bag itself as a sign of good faith. Whether you listen or not, it is a gift of hospitality for at least letting us stay here even one night. We'll, of course, pay our way, as is proper. There are many of us, and we do not want to be a drain on any of your resources.
Your cost is at cost, then. No profit from potential allies. Yet. It's a give and take.
Also, with your permission, there are some that were planning on moving here anyways. When we had made the plans known among our peoples. With your grace, they would like to become citizens and settle down.
I can speak for everyone on this with confidence. All are welcome. As long as it causes no strife for them, they just have to follow our laws. And that, the biggest of which is no discrimination. As you explore the cities, you will notice that we have orcs, half-elves, dwarves, gnomes, people of all proclivities, and all are equal in our land.
This is very warming. Though there is one thing I have not heard that much of, which I understand there is a potential for more growth. One of the reasons why a member of the third monastery is here among my hand-picked delegation. At that, she turns to the Dragonborn to her side. And what is this description of the other Dragonborn? There are a handful. There's a total of 5 Dragonborn here.
This one in particular, varied shades of purple. Just give me one quick second. I am trying to find a copy of said individual. They are very thin. They are definitely dressed along what you would consider somebody being in a monastery. Very draconic, for obvious reasons. There we go. And a close-up of their head. It doesn't make much of a difference. So.
Okay.
They,
Very interesting individual.
Very.
and they bow their head and thank you for this opportunity to help with these new lands.
We believe everyone deserves a chance to grow. I've been doing a bit of recruiting myself lately.
Very lovely.
We settled on Nightshade because it's in abundance here, and Nightshade can be deadly, but with death comes life and fertility. And not only are the lands fertile in resources, but we hope our culture becomes fertile for growth of people in general, to move beyond the expectations that were set for them.
A strong belief that we have back home, especially near the capital, is that life and nature have a way of growing beyond what some may expect. As long as that growth is not perverted, it is encouraged.
Honestly, I'm surprised you brought people that are looking to change lands, but it's interesting, and I believe our dealings can be more in good faith now.
Their hopes and life plan had been set on moving into those particular areas within these seasons. And as such, we believe it is best to facilitate them as best as we can. If that means that they are leaving our home, then so be it.
Well, then, on that note, as one of our newest citizens, I turn to the purple dragonborn. What's your name?
My name is Fubar, and those in the monastery have added the moniker the Reckless as I do not have the patience of a typical monk.
I think with that moniker, you'll find you fit in.
That is always good to hear.
My group can be a little reckless, so to the utter consternation of our resident librarian. Well, I think I'll leave you. I have a ward to check up on, and make yourselves at home. And that same resident librarian will be happy to overlook these books and get them to the right people. We appreciate the spirit it was given in, and we can all sit down tomorrow. Please relax, enjoy yourselves, and honestly, the ale here is really good. Get as much as you can possibly handle.
You are very kind.
And Dio will walk away to go find the budding artist.
It doesn't take long to find out that she is back in that room once again.
Taken over the space much, have you?
Whenever the council comes and has meetings here, I always spend more time in my room.
I can just make it yours. I can commission another meeting room.
Are you sure?
Yes. If you'll tell me why your guards here, I walk up to one of them and tap on the chest plate. Are hollow.
Father says people can be mistrustful. He thinks it's better to be sure you can trust people that protect you.
And I'm guessing that all flesh and blood is inherently untrustworthy in his view. What about
No.
yours?
I don't trust a lot of the people because people lie.
They do. But not knowing how to work through their lies and use them to your own advantage is dangerous too. Learning those lies and how to use them as a tool for yourself, that'll get you far. My entire life is built on lies.
I just want to be safe.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And but perfect safety is impossible. You need some weapon for yourself. And it doesn't have to be physical. You seem to use your mind. Wield it. You're in a tavern with comers and goers in a fairly safe environment. Practice. Ingratiate yourself. Learn tidbits of knowledge that you wouldn't otherwise. Use that to protect yourself. If you know them, you can protect yourself from them. You're practicing your art. You have the drive. I don't think your father wanted you to just be shoved in a hole. Use this to learn. Grow in a safe-ish environment.
I'll do what I can.
Otherwise, how's your stay been?
Good. Quiet.
That's good. Interacted with the hunters, guilders, or librarians much?
I try and stay away from the hunters.
Too crass or too dirty?
Too dangerous.
You're not their quarry.
She puts a hand on her necklace. And just sits there quietly for a moment.
Anyway, make the most out of your time here. I don't know when this arrangement is supposed to end, but it eventually will, most likely. And I hope you learned something in your time here. I think I've been saying it a lot these days, but my particular goal is to see people blossom. And if you refuse to even stretch your roots out, I don't see how that's possible. You have the potential. But start putting those roots out. Stop holding them in a ball to yourself. Stretch out, grab what's around you. There's a lot of secrets in this building.
She nods again.
Anyway, we're all back for a while, although Sorka found something weird, so that might take us off. And we have some guests from the Black Rose for the moment. And, well, some of your more recent paintings out there, you might actually be able to get some coin for. If you want to take them down to the city at any point. A little vacation away from the manor might be good for you. Go get some sea air.
Maybe.
I do recommend you go barge into the library as loud as possible, though. I'm sure it would thrill Sorka.
She gives you a bit of a look, but just nods.
Ta-ta! And I knock on the chest of one of her guards again as I walk out. And then I go try to find Sorka so that I can find out exactly what this, like, I've only seen the diplomat bags. I want to find out exactly what it can do. I already know she has the fucking books inside of it.
Yeah. Now you technically have 2 copies.
Mm-hmm. I go burst into the library. Fucker! Sorka!
Zorka, your right hand main companion just lets out the exact same sigh you have 100 times.
I am going to like look around, find the largest book that is near me, and with my telekinesis, I am going to throw it at him.
So you're going to be casting telekinesis?
Mm-hmm.
All right, roll me that d20. The first d20 is for the tome.
Oh, that's a great 3.
3. Okay. Spell goes off as normal. So you're only on a 1.
Give me just a second because this is on my other sheet of. This is in my workbook.
As I see the book flying at me, I wave my hand and cast Gust to deflect it. Oh shit, it's though. Okay, no wild magic. We're fine. I never thought you would be chucking books, Sorka. It's not very librarian-like of you.
Wasn't gonna hurt it.
Ouch, you chose one with metal corners.
Uh-huh. And
Whatever. I got presents. I'm
uh-huh.
sure you already have the books, but turns out the Black Rose delegation's here sooner than expected.
Oh, so that's where they came from.
Mm-hmm. So I've got the originals here. They gave them to us. So we have 2 copies.
Well, then we can allow the council to have the other copies for them to use as they see fit.
Excellent. But the real present is they gave me a diplomat's pouch.
Okay.
Let's figure out what it can do. Do you want to do the honors or should I?
I can. Let me. And I go to my card catalog and look up diplomat's pouch.
All right. Give me one moment to pull up the information on that.
I found it. It's a Strongholds and Followers one, right?
Yep.
A letter placed in this pouch addressed to someone who owns another diplomat's pouch disappears, and the recipient listed in the letter finds a copy of it in their pouch. A letter can be listed to multiple recipients with a diplomat's pouch.
It's a very simple looking pouch.
With this, I think communication with the other baronies is going to take a step up.
Well, I mean, that'll be good for those people that want to have communication with other people.
Oh yes, you're a recluse. Okay. But anyway, I think the Black Rose is actually here in good faith. I set up a proper meeting between all of us for tomorrow, but they've brought some people that were planning to move here before we took control of the barony. They provided this stuff to help with our more fertile regions, and they've got a member who looks to be more directly involved. Looks to be a promising young dragonborn. You might be nervous at their moniker, the Reckless, but you deal with me on a daily basis.
Well, it won't be anything new. I have to deal with you every day.
But I think I'll go hunt down Wells and give him some forewarning as well. But be ready for tomorrow, because we do need to meet with them. You know the war is coming, right?
Unfortunately.
I think with our current stand with the White, and if things go well, like I think they will with the Black, we will be in a pretty good position for neutrality. And
Neutrality is good.
some of it's still going to bleed over, but I think we still have some time, and we can go investigate that strange door you found a little later.
Yeah, as soon as we have a little more information, I don't want to be reckless about it.
Come on, Sorka, lighten up a little. We've pulled through, mostly.
Mostly. I don't want to lose any of our people over going into some place that maybe we shouldn't.
Indeed, but it's through the uncertainty that we grow stronger, and we are weak right now compared to the other barons. I think the risk might be worth it, because there's potential for reward versus sitting back and knowing that we can't affect much.
Yeah, I would just like to know what those runes mean before we go traipsing off into the unknown.
Well, maybe going down there, I can get some inspiration to help through some of the magical talents, or help you better. Fresh sets of eyes never hurt.
True. But we do need to give our friend in town some time to do a little bit of research too.
Fair enough. All right, I'm off to bother Wells.
Have fun.
I leave the copies of the books and I scoop up the pouch.
And since my telekinesis is still working, like just about as he's out of the door, I slam it shut on his ass.
I deserved that. Wells, stop playing with your family jewels. Are the family jewels really that interesting, Wells? Are you silent and broody because you haven't killed anything recently or offended a joke?
No, He's just like, I think, hyper focus. So just
Yeah.
not doing anything because just trying to tune everything up.
So, are you working at a workbench? Do you have like a mat underneath what you're doing?
I would think so. Yeah.
Excellent. I start changing the color of the mat. I use prestidigitation to like start cycling through the colors of the rainbow rapidly underneath whatever gem Wells is working on. No attention yet. I start changing the color of the gem that Wells is working on. What's up, man? Playing with your rocks. I've been calling for you for like 5 minutes.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. The Black Rose is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got here a little early. They seem nice enough. I think negotiations will go well. They had a present that excited, what was a good fit for Sorka. They brought books. They brought people. And they seem receptive to the changes we've made. They did bring an individual who I think wants to tag along with us, at least for a while. So I think we'll be negotiating in good faith, but we do have a meeting set up for tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, also, they gave us a diplomat's pouch, so if any of the leaders of the guild have one, you can communicate with them a little bit faster.
All right. That'll be helpful.
I have a feeling that we'll be getting more use out of it than we want in the coming years. Tensions rising. But magic items are fun. I've been eyeing one of these for a while. It would have made my operations years ago much harder to circumvent. But I probably would have needed a dozen, and that's beyond my price range. Even now. Anyway, anything interesting come up while we were gone?
I mean, there was one document, but it doesn't seem too. It doesn't seem too suspicious, but
Oh, what's that?
just a particular request, but it doesn't. I don't think it's that just suspicious is different from the usual.
Anything that's going to need any of our particular attention, or yours specifically? Because I plan on, haranguing Sorka until she lets us explore that mystery door.
Honestly, I don't really believe so.
Excellent. I just plan on holding it over Sorka's head that she found something that's going to get us into a lot of shit. Instead of me this time. She'll still blame it on me, but it'll be fine. Besides, we gotta wait for Cassius to get back from, his brothel. That man is far too proud of that accomplishment. Never thought I'd see a corpse make a brothel, but here we are. You play with rocks, Sorka plays with books, Cassius plays with sex. Justice wants to sit down and focus on hunting for a while, so I just get to play with all of your emotions, right? Anyway, have fun with your gems, Wells. Meetings tomorrow, so don't get too hyper-focused.
All right.
And I change his... I cancel the prestidigitation on his gem so that it goes back to the right color.
All right. So, the evening goes without any issues. In the morning, when you all come down to get your meals wherever you choose to take them, Dio, seeing as I know you're going to be having your meal in the tavern, it's pretty empty. There is one of the Dragonborn from the delegation sitting with a elf near the fireplace. There's a handful of hunters that are normally stationed over at the lodge. And the usual bartender. Though you know what usual bartender means.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a couple of the librarians. As you're moving around, you do kind of hear that the hunters are whispering about something. In a bit of a excited tone.
I wander over to them.
Are you being blunt in approaching?
No, actually, I'm just gonna kind of slide over until I can actually hear what they're saying.
All right, give me a stealth roll.
Okay. I have advantage on those. 26.
Yeah, you're able to get pretty close. And you start hearing them. I'm pretty sure I saw it too. Honestly. Rumors of one in the forest near that cursed grove is one thing, but in the fields to the west, where would a dragon hide if there's nothing really to bunker down in? I don't know. Honestly, though, dragons encroaching on territory, as rare as they are, it's not going to be long until someone puts a price on its head. Hard to believe, though. You hear anything good about the size of it? can't be much more than maybe teens. Dragons age weird, even compared to other long-lived. Interesting thing I heard about is it's got like stones on his body. Yeah, that's what most people that have reported seeing it in the field say.
Sorry, gentlemen. I could not help but overhear an interesting tidbit of information. What particular color have you heard?
I think I haven't heard much myself. Shut up, you ditz. Sorry, my lord. The consistent theory is it is a emerald dragon.
Now that's rare.
Yeah. People heard that there's probably a dragon out near the Cursed Grove a few days east of here. But no one in their right mind goes out there.
How long ago was that report?
Those pop up every couple moons, maybe every season or so.
I didn't notice anything out there myself, so might be worth taking a look into. But you said west of here.
Yeah, less than a day's trip. No one knows when it'll pop up, but never more than one or two of us will ever see it at a time.
And have either of you personally seen it?
I thought I did, but when I tried getting a closer look to make sure I saw what I did, nothing was there.
Oh, you two. Thanks for the information.
Anytime. And they both bow to you.
Enough of that. Take a week off, paid. You didn't intentionally search me out for the information, but appreciate it nonetheless. I'm getting antsy again, so might be worth checking out.
They both nod and get back to their drinks, thanking you profusely, and then starting to just smack each other back and forth of the you said stop and they're having a hard time because you're a baron and they know your position.
I grab a breakfast beer and wait for the others.
Slowly but surely, everyone else starts showing up. The taller dragonborn with the black scales does walk in with the purple one. During your entire walk this morning, because she got up around the same time, like just before dawn. I'm assuming that the monk gets up before, like, just before dawn for, like, meditation or minor exercise. Boots.
Sorry?
I said I assume that the monk gets up for a little bit of exercise just before dawn while it's still cool out.
Yes, most definitely.
In that early time period, as you're working out, the first thing that you see is the dark-scaled pseudo-dragon plop down next to you. And then the friend of said pseudo-dragon, which is Lavala, the lieutenant, as she walks up. Mind if I join you for your morning walk?
Oh, please, feel free. It's always nice to have a little bit of company.
Very much so.
I could never understand the monks' vow of silence and the whole serenity thing. Just never got my. It just no. How about you, pseudo dragon? That is unusual.
Yes. It is a rarity that has popped up among the ranks. A handful of them were created in the several different nestings. There's usually one or two pseudo dragons among the major nestings of the average, though your kin are more specialized.
Yes, definitely.
This one happens to be my nestmate, and as such, we are close.
Well, that is good.
As I have mentioned before on our trip here, I do wish for you to be a set of eyes and ears here. But more importantly, I know that you do not fit well among the rest of our kin, as
And I roll my eyes at that one.
you are unique, and that is one of the reasons why I brought you. While I understand that we will always be your home, I do hope in time your allegiance actually changes.
Oh,
It is strange for me to say this out loud, but it is our hope that as you spend time here among the barons that watch over this place, though they are much I do not wish to speak ill of them, but they are not in the same.
they are not traditional barons by any stretch of the imagination.
That is the best way of putting it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Our Baroness sees a lot of greatness from them. The fact that they signed a allegiance with the White before even understanding them is
Could be considered foolish or reckless.
mm, As long as they do not get too close to north or the detestable purple.
I have a feeling they have the natural aversion of the living to the abomination that is purple. It would do good that we remove that stench from here.
In the coming conflict, I hope that you are a voice in their ear that prompts them to help eradicate such issues.
I will be quite adamant in the removal of purple. Even here, as far as we are from them, their stench is there.
If any delegations come from the north, though, heed them warning of the orange.
I will.
This place has the air of other kin.
Mhm.
If there are others of our elder kind, send word.
I will.
Dragons are rare, and the more we have documented of where they are, the more we can hopefully sway their personal stance. At
It would
very
always
least, defending ourselves would be the best if we have to expand.
let us hope that that expansion is done in a peaceful manner. Other than purple.
Others can take their land. Baroness says that if it is us that holds that territory, she will do nothing with it.
Understandable. It has been quite tainted.
After our delegation is finished here, I will be returning home. I do wish you the best.
Thank
I will
you.
inform your nest that you are to remain here. You are always welcome back, but it is already believed that it is to be as a guest.
Yes.
Come, let us deal with these meetings that I can finally be off and look at the places that we will hopefully settle. It is a shame if they are to be remained as citizens here, but the good they can do will hopefully outweigh the loss.
Yes. Let us hope.
Among the last people to show up are the Baroness, the reckless.
Boots, you said your name was Poobar or Foobar?
Fubar.
Foobar, perfect.
Yes.
And about halfway through the walk, you were joined by one of the other Dragonborn. And that is the third person that walks in.
Sorka, Wells, might I introduce to you Lavala, the head of their little delegation, Fubar, who I think will be joining us, and I'm sorry I never caught your name. I addressed to the third.
He looks a bit startled at the even acknowledgement range. And bows to the three of you. Makola.
Makola, all right. Lavala, Fubar, Makola, this is Sorka, our resident crotchety librarian. And Wells, our gem-obsessed, bloodthirsty freak.
I'm not controlling the laughter. Okay, much to the lieutenant's chagrin.
Oh yeah, she is a bit taken aback by how you introduced them.
Don't worry, Sorka's going to punish me later.
Oh no, Sorka's going to punish you right now. I need an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, oh no.
Before the saving throw, well, same time-ish, I guess. You're casting a spell, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
You
I'll
know
roll
you
my
need...
d20. 6.
You're good.
I actually rolled a nat 20 on that, so 22.
Okay.
I went a little as I... What'd you try? Mind Sliver?
Mind sliver. Yeah,
Yep.
I just wanted to give you a headache.
Yeah, I went a little because a little headache does start, and I go, she'll keep trying until it works. But please, let's all sit. Breakfast? Everyone hungry?
I could do with a meal.
Excellent. Place an order at the bar and we all sit. Again, I don't stand on ceremony, much to probably everyone's chagrin.
Out of curiosity, are you doing this meeting in the main area, or are you going to the little meeting room?
We'll go to the smaller meeting room so I don't kick out.
Oh, she's not in there this morning.
Oh. Cool. Yeah, we'll just go in there.
As you step in, Lavala has a bit of a look on her face as she looks around for a moment before eventually taking a seat.
Another interesting prospect. Your
Indeed.
patron plants seeds in the ground. I plant seeds in people.
That's rather rude of you.
Oh, not my seed, just their own.
Visibly confused.
Good.
I look over at the lieutenant. Are you sure?
It is not my decision.
Yes, all to serve Our Lady.
The world's changing. The powers are too settled in. It's raising tensions. And I fucking hate bureaucracy. I'm going to get as much enjoyment out of it as I can.
This is going to be interesting. I may have found somebody who's even more reckless than I.
I mean, I accidentally insulted a baron to their face.
It would have been more reckless had you actually done it on purpose, but
Well, I did that after I found out they were a baron.
okay.
And you know what my punishment was? Becoming a fucking baron.
I'm not sure how that is a punishment.
Paperwork. Have you ever dealt with paperwork? I don't know how Wells does it. He's running a fucking guild. He has to sign shit all day. I fucking hate it. I like to talk. I don't like to sign. I don't like to read. I let Sorka deal with the contracts. I let Wells write the contracts. I just schmooze.
I see that.
And I'm being far more forthcoming with your group right now. Lavala's reputation isn't quite on display as I had feared. You seem less fearsome and more introspective than the rumors would suggest. I don't doubt your capability.
What rumors might these be?
A brashness, an aggressiveness.
That is usually held mainly for those that choose to exploit our land and our people.
Understandable. But color me surprised that you all reached out so early. I know you explained a bit of it as you had eyes on this land initially, but most of the others that we've interacted with have been circumstance of opportunity. Or opportunity of circumstance, however you want to look at it. Time and place matched up, and we found ourselves dealing with others. Not many have reached out.
The major reason that we reached out is because, as stated, we were within these seasons planning on having people move here as it is. It is only proper that once word came about of the Duke no longer being a person to deal with, but actual barons living here, that's changed things. The Duke does not have any right over the land, especially for settling new people. They are stewards at best. It is at least encouraging to know that there is some here that will actually move this land towards a future instead of just holding it as whatever it was before you came.
Ransom.
Here's our main hope. There are a total of 50 families that wish to settle across your land. There were plans that we had initially written up for moving them here. We will supply them with getting in place and all of the necessities of getting them farms built and all of those preparations. What we ask for in return is two things. And knowing how harvests go, I will never say anything is a small thing. First and foremost, anything that is able to make it to market, we ask for 1% in weight to be sent through the Black Rose for distribution. The other 99% is handled as proper. 1% with a estimation of 5 seasons, and then we renegotiate. Specifically 5 autumns, seeing as autumn is just around the corner.
And your second condition.
As a potential ally for the Black Rose, I do not believe that it is much of a stretch to ask that you do not entertain allyship with the Purple Rose.
Oh, you don't even need to add that as a condition. Done and done. We had some run-ins with some shit they were trying to stir up in the blue before we left. Not a huge fan of them.
There's also the matter of the orange. We are very disapproving of their diplomatic efforts. As such, we at very least ask that if you have any delegation of theirs, doubtful as it may be, openly hosting them would not be
Put the mask on. You're good. Night.
upsetting for the Baroness or myself, but entertaining the idea of a connection with them would be unpleasant to say the least.
We don't look for enemies. The purple is more personal than anything for us. I think I look to Wells and Sorka. We can agree we're not a huge fan of them. Personally, so but the orange has done nothing overtly against us yet, so the best I could promise is neutrality.
That is the most we can ask of at this time.
I do want to add an addendum to the crop yield, though. It's very difficult to get some of the more particular delicacies from your region. 5% of crop growth to be dedicated to that, not to be distributed and profited for by the kingdom. We will buy directly from the farmers and not put it in a trade agreement with anyone else, but used for the personal sustenance and flourishment of our own people.
We can offer 5% from the 10 closest farms to the border. And these are as we deem farms, not the smatterings across your land.
Truly, I just want to reward the hard work of our people, and if your people want to stay. I know that the more profitable items that you hold in reserve, we're probably not going to make it over, and I just want a small portion of the lands dedicated to such, not for our personal profit, but for incentive for our people. They work hard, they deserve to enjoy it.
All crops grown here in your land are subject to your rule. All we ask is in payment for setting them up to be able to delegate 1% of the ones grown here in your land by the farmers that we have settled. None of us.
Yeah, fair enough. I look to Wells because he's more familiar with that type of contract negotiation. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, that sounds about good.
Sorka, any complaints?
Nope.
If everything is profitable for both sides, after our renegotiations in 5 autumns, perhaps we can add some stronger ties then. I find these terms acceptable.
We will attempt to revisit in one full set of seasons. Near the end of summer again.
Kind of works. Fubar, you sticking around, right?
That I am. You haven't scared me off yet.
Oh, I'll do my damnedest.
Of that, I am not surprised.
It's not even entirely intentional, but you have to be a certain amount of reckless to put up with me. Sork will deny it night and day, but even she's a little reckless.
Well, to be able to put up with you, she would have to be.
Lavala,
Can I get another intelligence saving throw?
17.
Okay. You still feel just a little bit of a headache, a little bit worse than last time, but then it goes away very quickly with no damage.
Anyone who's watching my hand as I reach across the table to shake with Lavala notices my fingers like tense for a second as Sorka does that.
As your hand meets hers for the shake, you notice something kind of unusual. The extremely dark scales on the back of her hand, which reflect almost no light. Like they almost absorb a little bit of light. As you touch those scales, they are cold. The palm of her hand, which does not have those same kinds of scales, is warm as you would expect, but the back of her hand is very cold.
Like, does it feel cold as in absence of warmth, or more like generating ice?
Absence of warmth.
Interesting. Does my shadow react at all to that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Your shadow actually visibly retracts from your hand.
Huh. I hope to see you again soon, Lavala.
Wells, as Lavala reaches across the table for shaking the hands of each of you individually, as your hand gets closer, I need a wisdom saving throw.
15.
15. You feel your hand almost wanting to pull away as she reaches for your hand. And it is not the voice of your usual patron, it's the other one that is urging you to not get close. Do you accept the handshake?
Yeah.
As with Dionysus, when you feel the, you wrap your hand along with hers, the back where the like normal scales are is cold. Like it is whatever a room temperature item is, which is not normal for people. Like it hasn't absorbed any heat from the room. And the palm of her hand is warm, but not the scales. Sorka, as she reaches to shake your hand, do you accept the handshake?
Yes.
All right. You also notice the warmth that is like the more leatheriness of her hand and the coldness on the back.
I make a note to research it.
All right. Once handshakes,
Say what?
continue on first.
Oh, if the meeting's wrapping up, is that what's happening right now?
Yes.
I sling an arm around Fubar and guide them over to the other two and go, so I heard the most fascinating rumor, and I think our newest friend might be able to help us with it.
I'm looking at the other two. Does he call everyone friend easily? Should I be worried?
Run.
No.
Run far away. Like, and not really like that monotone. Like,
I just broadly smile at Sorkin as I go, I heard the most interesting rumor about an emerald dragon near here.
Okay, yeah, now you have my attention. An emerald dragon? Another gem dragon. Closer kin to me than any of the
The
others here.
timing seems conspicuous and fortuitous. He wants to go on an adventure.
Oh, most definitely.
Sorka.
It is rare that I meet one of my greater kin. Oh yeah, you notice the blue spots on his shoulder? Those are actual gems on his shoulder. And all his skin looks okay, it's shiny, almost gem-like quality as well.
Wells, I don't think I need to tell you this, but don't play with his jewels.
Okay, Fupar's eyes are open really wide. No, oh yeah, that's fine, thank you.
I mean, unless there is a set of jewels you want Wells to play with. I mean, I won't judge you.
Yes.
As I watch a dragon,
Sorka, I'm starting to understand your reasoning.
All right. Now that the ice is broken, Sorka, do you want to come patch me up when I inevitably fuck up a meeting with a dragon?
I suppose, like anything else in this little adventure, in quotes, of ours, I don't really have a choice since I don't want to see you dead.
I mean, if you don't come
Yes. Dead, no.
if you come with, you get to see me hurt and make sure I don't die. But if you don't come with, you also don't have to see me dead. It's a win-win for you.
You two have the oddest of relationship. Well, are they always this way, or is it just for me that they're doing this?
They've always been this way.
For a reason.
Are they lovers?
No. So fun story about Sorka and I meeting. I was doing some petty larceny and she looked lonely. I invited her for a walk for some shopping and we ended up as barons. She hasn't forgiven me. She was trying to have a quiet breakfast. I roped her into shopping. We ended up having to thwart a second assassination from the Purple Rose. We got roped into an adventure for the Blue Rose because we happened to see the Purple Rose assassin, and lied our way into a meeting that ended with us accepting the deal for this land. It was a confusing week.
A week?
About week and a half.
Oh, gods above. Okay, you're seeing Fupar slowly start to back away.
I just pull tighter into my shoulder. So, you'll have plenty to report to Lavala whenever she checks in with you next.
I have plenty already. Lavala! Help!
As I start leading them all out to, like, grab supplies or do whatever the fuck they want to do, I'm just like, I start slightly exaggerating the rest of our adventures. It's mostly truth because you don't need to exaggerate our adventures. I just kind of brush past some of the boring parts of, Yeah, we found these mysterious ruins with a library that was so massive that it took us almost a week to get through.
Yeah.
And
I
Put it
have
this
my
way, it's a good thing my eyes don't have pupils, so you can't see how big they're getting.
And then I instruct my shirt to stick out a pseudopod and wave.
I jump back. What the fuck is that?
I befriended a mimic.
You are not. It's on you, and you're not dead.
We have an agreement.
Okay. I'm now seriously worried.
I mean, if you need to dispose of a body, what better way than pet mimic?
I did tell you to run.
Do you need to dispose of bodies regularly?
Not super.
Should I be worried?
Sorka keeps the bodies from piling up too much.
Okay. I see. Yes, it's also good that that you there's very few signs of me actually sweating profusely.
Oh, and one of our other friends, he should be meeting up with us soon. We should probably wait for him before we tackle the dragon. I don't know. I don't know how long he's going to be. He's a walking corpse.
You associate with the purple,
No,
but you just finished saying he's a walking corpse.
he's not that type of corpse. He's the other type of corpse.
What other type of corpse is there?
He doesn't rot. He technically has a heartbeat. It's just, I don't know if it's actually a heartbeat or just
You people.
nervous reaction. I don't know. The fastest I've ever felt it is 1 beat a minute. I figured I should warn you that you will see a walking corpse, but he's not a mindless corpse like many of the purple.
Oh, good to know. And where is this walking corpse at the moment?
Building a brothel.
I walked into that one, didn't I?
I mean, you couldn't have expected it.
Well, not technically. We're not in town.
Sorry? I'm having a hard time hearing you, sir.
Oh, not technically. We're not in town. You didn't walk into the brothel.
Good one. Ay. Okay. Well,
I just figured I should forewarn you of the full scope of weird that you're about to walk yourself into. So, if you want to abandon ship and not be the relay point of useful information back to the Black,
I unfortunately have burned that bridge, so you're stuck with me.
Excellent. Well, I think right now you're feeling more like you're stuck with us.
Yeah.
You'll get used to it eventually. We've almost brought Sorka around.
Okay.
And I think right about now is when I fail a
Another
save on
intelligence
my
save.
sliver.
Yep. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that one.
So what reaction do I see from you there?
So that's 3 points of damage.
Oh, just 3? Okay. My face scrunches up real tight and I stop walking. That one wasn't so bad.
I
I think I've been injured by our healer more than I have by our encounters over the last 2 months, to be honest. I've deserved every single one.
Exactly.
okay. And you're sure they're not lovers?
Positive. She's more like a sister. A
Yeah, I
very
throw up a little in my mouth.
she would rather think that we're bitter rivals and enemies, but she still doesn't want to see me dead for some reason. One of these days, she's either going to accept the familial connection or she's actually going to kill me. It's 50-50 either way, and I'm looking forward to see which direction she chooses.
Are there any bookies taking odds on that one?
Ask Wells.
Oh, well, that is such a lost opportunity.
Or Fucker. Fucker might be hiding an underground betting ring on that.
I will have to have a chat with him. I'm assuming that's the underground corpse. The underground corpse, the walking corpse.
No. Fucker is the Kenku that showed up out of the blue to assist Sorka in the library.
Okay.
We acquire eclectic people.
So I'm now part of your collection?
I mean, you are made of precious stones, so sure.
Yeah. They're part of my anatomy, yes. I'm not actually made of. I'm still quite biological.
Just a forewarning, though. I wasn't kidding when I said Wells was our gem genius. They're part of the Jewel Crafters Guild and the head of the newest branch.
Okay.
So, is there anything anyone wants to do, or should we go start finding this dragon?
Kin would be nice, yes.
Are you sure you don't need a drink and a rest after all of this?
I need more than one drink. Then the rest would be enforced afterwards.
I pull out a flask and hand it over.
I sniff.
It's just whiskey.
Appreciate it, but no, thank you.
Would you prefer rum or ale or?
Rum would be significantly more appealing, yes.
I pull out another flask and hand it over.
Okay, so you're an alcoholic on top of all of this.
It's only a problem if I can't function.
Okay.
I'm quite experienced at drinking. Most of my deals throughout my life have been operated in a bar.
Valid.
And enough people around me need a drink to deal with me that I just keep the supplies on hand.
Having to deal with you does likely involve large quantities of alcohol. I can see that. As I start taking a swig.
Sorka, do you need any?
No, I enjoy the irritation. It makes me twitchy with my magic.
Twitchy with your magic.
Mm-hmm. Completely accidental mind slivers that you've been throwing at me all morning.
Of course they've been accidental. Why would I do something on purpose? Blink, blink, blink.
All right. Does anybody need to restock, or should we go on a camping trip, or what? What do you two feel like doing?
I mean, I've already said that I'll go and save you from dying.
I'm hoping it's
When you piss
diplomatic.
off-
That's why
when
I'm
you
bringing
piss off a
Fubar.
dragon.
I'm glad you have confidence in my skills.
I just plan on shoving you out front and hoping that they're hesitant to attack kin.
Thank you for at least forewarning me of said treachery.
I mean, we're not going to let you die, and if they do attack, we will attack. I'm hopeful that bringing some... It's not quite so literal. I'm just hoping that by bringing kin, we can have more of a diplomatic conversation rather than...
Okay, so I'm the delaying tactic. Gotcha.
Do you blame me?
The little that I know of you at this point in time, no. Well, if I am to be bait, let's get this over with.
You're excited about it too. You want to see your kin as well.
You're not wrong. The thing,
Well, how much you want to bet Lavala's following us? Or has someone following us for this little excursion?
she's depending on me.
So we do have to keep you alive.
Yes, you do.
That's fine. I like my experiments. How unsettled have I made Fubar at this point?
Yeah, quite. As much as I hate The Simpsons.
So you head out to the fields?
I think so, unless there's arguments from anyone. Don't
I
think
think
there
my
is.
arguments would fall on deaf ears anyway, so.
The trip out to the fields that were mentioned do take you less than a day. In fact, those fields are about an hour or so out. When you first show up, there are no signs of any dragon in the area. Does anyone want to give me a survival or investigation?
Yeah, I'll do an
Not
investigation.
particularly.
I'll do a survival.
22 on my investigation.
23. on survival.
So with the investigation, you notice that there is a few areas that have been pushed down a little bit more than usual. The factor of the dragon being here in general is the signs are there. And you can tell that it's not been too terribly long since the last one. The survival brings up the fact that you're pretty sure this is a large creature.
Large. So in other words, not necessarily a full-grown dragon.
Right. And the
So a
survival
young one.
also gives you a few footprints that you can follow. The footprints are fairly small. Humanoid, you can tell. And
Do I know if gem dragons can polymorph?
well, this survival information is stuff that Sorka got on her
Okay.
roll. The footprints do show like more often than not that the person is running. You also notice that there are footprints that follow along with the humanoids. They look to be that of someone probably in some level of armor. And the humanoid footprints vanish after a while, and you see the like drag marks of the chasers.
I'm assuming, Sorka, you're passing this on to us?
Yeah, and I've started like following it and just beckoning and saying what I'm seeing.
Okay.
You do not know of any gemstone dragon that knows the ability of polymorph.
So in other words, this is a possible some other humanoid that's with it.
How old does this trail seem?
Less than a week.
Are there any hills nearby that might be able to host a small camp?
There are some, but it is a ways. Like it'll probably take you over a day to get to those hills.
Should we camp out and keep an eye out? We'll continue searching.
Do I see where the tracks have like just ended or
Yes,
disappeared?
the tracks just end. You notice that there are signs of the signs of flight. Like your survival shows that the grass in the area has been pushed and battered with heavy winds, which usually is signs of big winged creature.
So I think if we just move off to the side of this, maybe this is a good space for us to keep an eye out. I don't know, or if we want to like.
Can I make a roll to see what I recall of Emerald Jet Dragons? Excuse me.
Yeah, give me a.
Can I use nature?
Sure.
Again.
11.
11. You know that at very least emeralds are one of the oldest of the gemstone dragons.
Do I know their favorite kinds of layers? Basically, is this an area that we would find an emerald
Not that
dragon?
often.
So in other words, this dragon is here likely potentially associated with this humanoid that you're telling us got dragged away?
No, the humanoid's footprints just disappear. It's the chasers that were that look like they have dragged, not that they were dragged away. Diana says you are muted.
I just noticed. Looks like someone was trying to hunt the dragon and fell into a trap.
That does not bode well for those individuals.
It broke again.
In that sense, dragons are dragons.
The green ball.
They take grave insult to somebody either trying to go for their treasure or trying to go for them. So I would not doubt that those people chasing are no longer with us.
I say we camp out for a bit, see if we notice anything.
Are you trying to camp in a stealthy manner, or more openly?
What do we think is best here? Not announce ourselves or announce ourselves brazenly? You're muted, Boots. Anyone have a preference? Not draw attention or draw all of the attention?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. We should keep ourselves invisible from those on the ground, but leave some form that the dragon, if they come flying around, could easily see me, identify us as possible allies.
These are just empty fields, right? Like not farmland, just
Yeah, it's actually mostly the things that are most in this field are just tall grass, some flowers.
That's gonna make
so. What if I
Sounds
burn a phrase in Draconic into the grasses? Like, hey, we just want to have a chat. Come say hi.
eh? That's as good as anything at this point in time.
And then we turtle up.
Yeah. Because obviously, yes, I can speak with my kin. Although I'm not sure he would appreciate me calling him such, or they would appreciate me calling them such. Could be male or female or anything in between.
I burn Foos Road dot. No.
Takes you a bit of time, but you are able to get the little message burnt into the ground. Actually, give me a roll me a d6 as your
1.
you're a little ways into burning the message in when I need you to make a intelligence saving throw.
That's not great. 10.
As you are burning the like you start the process, you start seeing that your fire is going out of control. And what you thought was going to be a simple message is now enveloping this entire field.
Grass wasn't supposed to be this dry.
What do you do?
Fuck. I don't have any water nearby, do I?
You probably have a canteen on you.
How big of an area is currently starting to get out of control?
Oh, Fubar, you're only seeing like about 3 letters that are burnt in.
Okay.
I'm seeing things.
Yeah, Dionysus is the only one seeing it going out of hand.
Okay.
I start shooting Ray of Frost all over the place to try and put out the fires. Except, that might not be what happens.
Oh no, you just went wild, didn't you?
I just rolled a nat 1 on a wild magic. So, that's a D100. Let's see what happens. Okay.
I have my list. What'd you roll?
92.
92. Well, luckily this isn't a bad one. Roll me a d10.
7.
7. That headache from earlier today is now gone. As your spell goes wild, it actually bounces back as a healing spell.
Okay.
You gain 1d10 health.
That puts me back to full.
everyone else, aside from Dionysus, you see a young girl in a summer dress, barefoot, a necklace with a emerald gemstone hanging at the end of it. Flanking her are two men in full plate armor. Wells and Sorka, you recognize this young girl. She is the ward that you are supposed to be watching after. The different thing about her at the moment is the fact that her eyes are giving off a prismatic light as she, past that prismatic light, is staring daggers at Dionysus, who is still freaking out, trying to put out fires that he is mostly missing.
Do I
1
get
in 6
another
chance,
thing?
and you rolled a 1.
Who is it that we have in front of us, if I may ask your name?
Bringing up her character information. Where is... Sarah. Sarah.
Sarah, are you the one that they've been seeing in the area?
Small note, Fubar doesn't know her name.
Okay, this is what I was asking in character.
Oh, Sorka, I see, has mic open, and I'm guessing is wanting to say something to...
Yes. Hello, Sarah. I haven't seen you outside the manor. Ever. How are you?
Not happy my favorite drawing place is on fire.
Dionysus!
Do I get another save yet?
Yes.
Much better. 20.
20. You break out of it.
Sarah, when I told you to I noticed that my fires aren't out of control. And I more direct my ray of frost. As it kind of melts, I turn it to shape water to just flood over the letters.
Do you have to destroy everything that's important to everyone?
How was I supposed to know? I just
Didn't
wanted
you see
someone to
any of
get
my
me from
pictures?
there.
Wells, are you sure?
Dionysus, at her statement of, haven't you seen any of my pictures? Give me a history check at advantage.
Yeah, 23, not 20.
Yeah, thinking back over it, some of the better pictures that were hanging up of like a field looks to be this field.
You are full of all kinds of surprises, Sarah. I do apologize. None of these assholes stopped me, though, when I told them.
I
They
am
agreed
innocent
with it.
here.
I see you bloom a little bit more than I thought.
Why are you out here?
Well, we heard reports of someone seeing something that resembled a dragon fairly close by, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be an issue and come talk to them.
Fubar, in your head, you hear Sarah's voice.
Okay.
Did you tell them?
I have not said anything. I did not realize you were what they were the individual they were looking for.
Did you know this is where I would be hiding?
No, I did. I'm completely puzzled by the way things have turned out. I am sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
Dionysus, I believe it's time for us to take our leave of this place, and you will be sending someone out here to plant flowers and grass where you burned things.
I don't need to send anybody. I use my mold earth to till the dead grass back in. The dead and burnt. And this is just fertilizer, and I reach into my herbalism pouch and start sprinkling grass seed. My proclivity for hobbies at least comes in useful sometimes.
I'll throw some of the seeds that I have as well of stuff that we probably need to have growing in the area and say, okay, time for us to go home, and you have some people to talk to, Dionysus. It was nice to see you out and about, Sarah.
She nods, looking still very upset.
How was I supposed... As we walk away, I turn to Sorka. How the fuck was I supposed to know she was a dragon? And even if her paintings are of these fields, it doesn't mean the dragon was painting them. There's no reasonable expectation for me to have known any of that.
I'm not saying there was. You're just going to take care of this to make sure that she's protected.
And
After all, she is our ward.
who is this? Okay, she's your ward. She has guards with her. I am utterly confused as to what is going on.
Someone who makes very powerful magical stuff told us that we needed to look after her. And they're powerful enough that we can't say no. So here she is. We were told nothing about her. Absolutely nothing. She has pretended to be a recluse in our manor, and by all accounts, never ever left. And, well, she hides some secrets. I have to go talk to the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing I'm good at lying. All right. If anyone asks any of you, we've investigated. Burgeoning Mage was using the open fields as a place to test their new illusion magic. The reason the sightings have been so intermittent and sparse and not lasting long is it's ridiculously hard to do, and they are inexperienced. We've told them to pick a different place, not so close to civilization, to prevent causing more panic. And unless somebody goes missing, we fucking drop this. I don't want her dad coming back.
Her dad. Her dad. Oh, God.
No, we want to stay on good terms with her dad.
Yeah, but if he shows up early, and he's not wont to do so, but if he shows up early, we won't be on good terms with him. So I don't want him coming back before any fucking time soon.
Okay, what is this deal that you have with her father, which I assume means he is... Oh, my God.
So how close are you with Lavala?
I report to her. Beyond that,
I pull out my deck. Have you ever seen one of these?
Yes.
I have. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He makes these. He made these for your Baroness. He made these for...
He is... Oh my goodness.
I don't want her dad coming back any sooner than he intended.
I will definitely make sure that this gets back to who needs to know.
No one needs to know. Other than to not fuck with her.
Oh, God.
It is best then that she remain a secret if her father has...
We weren't supposed to discover that, I don't think. She's careless. I have to have a conversation with her when she cools down about going further away from the manor for this shit.
You're going to be around, Sarka, to make sure that he is not incinerated? Because I do not see that conversation going very well.
Well, you know, a little singeing never hurt anybody.
Again, surviving the incineration.
I
can bring him back.
I'm capable of surviving. I'm slippery.
Like an eel, I can see.
So that was an utter disaster. Oh, Sorka, can you lay off me for a couple days? This is going to be hard enough.
I can only promise if you promise not to come into my library like a horde of dire moose.
Are you saying I'm fat?
No, I'm saying you're loud.
That's fair. It's usually just to get a rise out of you, but I'm gonna be putting out more metaphorical fires for a while. I promise to tone it down.
Okay. Then I promise not to mind spike you.
Thank you.
Or sliver, mind sliver.
Mm.
Spike, sliver. It's a matter of intensity.
Yeah.
Dio just walks ahead of the group, going, fucking dragon. Of course she's a fucking dragon. Why wouldn't she be a fucking dragon? Neat little enchantment to hide that fact. What the fuck? I knew that necklace was important. I didn't know it was hiding that. God fucking damn it. This is why you spy on people. Stop giving them their space. So you don't get fucking surprised.
Fubar, give me a insight check. This is kind of a past tense insight check, but
Oh God. With my +1, I get a 3.
yeah, nothing seems to have rung up in your mind. You thought that maybe you would notice something earlier that's just now clicking, but
Well, I know what he's saying is not quite true, but I'm also not going to correct him.
oh no, this is from much earlier.
Oh, okay.
A few hours later, you get back to the manor. You're greeted by Cassius and Tala. Well, partially greeted.
They're sparring, aren't they?
Mostly.
Okay. Mostly.
Fubar, Cassius the Cadaver, and Tala.
Oh, who's Tala?
Tala is a young man who's desperate to become an adventurer and slowly make
Tala, run.
progress.
And I keep my distance from Cassius.
And they do come bearing a note.
And hopefully they have other clothing too.
The note is information on that door that you were asking about.
Today never
I'll take
ends.
that, and I'm going to the library. Up to my room, and I am locking the door for a while. I need some alone time to like regenerate. Too much peopling today. Like before anybody can say anything, I just grab the note and make a beeline, ignoring anybody saying anything behind me.
I message one of the usual faces and say that tell them that Sorka needs a nice wine and dinner brought up to her room.
A few minutes after getting settled into your room, there is a small knock at the door, and you hear the sounds of a platter being set on the table that sits outside the door, and the subsequent leaving footsteps.
Yeah, as soon as the footsteps seem like they're like well away, I'll bring the tray in and just set it to the side for a bit while I go over the note and my notes and books and whatnot.
The majority of what the notes all come together reading is that this doorway is a enchanted path. And the information on that has been gathered of like why there is no handle to the door is within the note of the prevailing theory is that in order to be able to open the door, you have to have the ability to create the entry. Everyone who can make their way into this kind of system always makes their own way. And the fact that someone has that this is here shows that this is a very prominent location. Has been at least sometime in the past. And the fact that you found it is not unusual. Something like this is finding these pathways are fate. And usually the next step in something much grander than what people have been led to believe. The understanding that is at the bottom of the note is the fact that the last time any of these were opened were probably around 300 or 400 years ago, which is fairly recently connected time-wise to when the baronies were settled.
Do I know if I possess anything that would allow me to make my way?
One of the things that is known as a key is people who are gifted in magic from outside is how it's worded. Give me a Arcana check at advantage.
21.
Of course.
From your understanding of the process, magic from outside would probably be like extraplanar magic. Probably something from either one of the mythical places, but magic that spills in from the Azir would probably do something along the same lines. I mean, the Sea of Stars has altered an entire race of elves and dwarves and gnomes and humans, which is why there are Githyanki and Sverfneblin and Dwagar and Drow.
Of course.
And you know that these usually end up coming from the Azir, the Sea of Stars,
Of
the
course.
ocean between the great oceans. And you were recently in an area that had a magical well that kind of just dips into there.
So our latest magic that we picked up.
Of
Sounds like a good match.
course.
Okay.
Of course.
So I need to do some more research in the library to see what my latest magical edition affords me with respect to this. So I'm assuming that it will have to be like history books that talk about the clerics of old.
Yeah, that's not a difficult find. There's not a lot on them, but there are some. Most of the information that you have on those with divine magic is they are greatly connected to powers even older than the barons. Though in your study for trying to find out what it is that would like make clerics.
Sorry, guys, gotta go.
All right. I'll be wrapping this here second, but I know you have to go now. The magic that would create someone to be able to be a cleric is almost always tied to magic that would be able to create the barons. And the last time that level of magic was brought into the world, again, was right before the baronies were settled. With that, you also understand that these pathways are more than just a place-to-place thing. These pathways are connected to those who can open them. There is a hypothesis that you have in your head by the time you're finished reading all of this.
Okay.
The handle itself is something that you create by trying to open it.
Okay.
Also, by the looks of this door, this hasn't been opened in a very long time.
Well, I'm not going to be doing it by myself.
Oh,
Um,
I wouldn't expect it.
yeah. But yeah, I will write down all of my notes and my hypothesis and everything, return the books to their proper place in the library, have some food, and get some rest.
All right. And I'm pretty sure that next time that we meet up, we plan on actually opening the door this time.
Yes, since we went on a fool's errand this time.
It was supposed to lay fallow for longer. I thought that you guys were just going to go, yeah, we're going to file that in the back of our heads. Not go after it immediately.
Players do what players do.
Oh, I understand. I understand.
And the thing is, with me being Dragonborn, it was the perfect hook to try.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
If it had been still with Justice, that would have been a different story.
We are a little sad to see Justice be retired to mostly paperwork and side hunting, but we are glad that we have our new Dragonborn friend.
Yes. Unfortunately, as I explained to our DM, my headspace hasn't been good in a while, and Justice was just too dark, and I could not continue playing them.
Completely understandable.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Well, you have an idea already, and everyone's seen how I've been playing Larius, so expect a similar quality out of Fubar.
All right. Well, until next time, be well, roll safe, and enjoy the tavern. Bye.